Before I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was living in the city, and we had decided to make a huge move to the country, to a lovely coastal town, which we did. We bought our dream home. We renovated for quite some time before we moved in, and then just as things were coming back to normal was when I discovered that I had breast cancer. I think what I wish I'd known from the outset was just how much the waiting would really affect me. I think that's possibly the worst part of this whole thing, is waiting for everything, waiting for appointments, waiting for pathology, waiting for surgery. I would have liked to have known that it was that bad, and I would have liked to have known how to deal with the anxiety that that brings on. For me, the most important thing was to actually have someone with me. Take someone along so that you have an extra pair of ears, because as soon as you hear the word cancer, it's all blah, 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 cancer, blah, 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 cancer, and you miss so much. It's good to have someone taking notes for you that can actually tell you when it's all over what actually happened in there. And once I'd found the surgeon that I was going to go with, he gave me many options. The options were obviously lumpectomy and radiotherapy, a mastectomy without the radiotherapy, provided that there was nothing else found in the final pathology, reconstruction or not. We discussed everything, and we discussed it with Colin too, and then we made our decision together. I received the most support was from Colin. He was an absolute rock for me. He was there for everything. He did everything he possibly could to make it an easy journey for me. And my daughter and my friends were great too. I think the advice I would give to other women before they have surgery and treatment is be kind to yourself. Look after yourself, eat well, go out and walk, do things that you really enjoy doing. Don't let negative people come in and give you information that you don't need. If you are a researcher, research. I always felt that knowledge was power, but that's not for everyone. Some people don't want to do all that, but don't Google, go to reputable sites. When I first saw myself in the mirror after surgery, I really wasn't fazed by it. I knew what to expect. My mother had had a single mastectomy, and she'd handled it admirably. When I first showed it to Colin, I was concerned about how he was going to feel, but he took one look at it and he said, that'll heal really well. You don't need two boobs to be gorgeous. And that was the end. I've never been concerned about it since. I was given the opportunity to visit a support group for their Christmas meeting, and that came through our breast care nurse. I actually didn't want to go. I was very mindful that I wasn't going to turn breast cancer into a hobby, but I thought, I've only just moved here, and these women will think I'm a total snob if I don't go to their meeting. So I thought I'll go along and I don't ever have to go back. I went to that meeting and I actually was very pleasantly surprised. I'm very glad that I went to that meeting, because the woman who started that group approached me in the first year afterwards and asked me if I would take over the running of that group, which I've done now for the past 6 years, and it's been probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. Oh, my first fitting for a breast form, I was so excited. I had it in my mind, I'd done the research, and I wanted a contact breast form so much. And I was so disappointed when I got to the shop and the lady said, oh no, that's too early after surgery for that. So I said, okay, you tell me what I need and I'll go with that. She fitted me with a breast form and a lovely powder pink Lara bra, which I just loved. And it was comfortable, it felt good, it looked great in the mirror. And I walked out where Colin was waiting on the other side of the street. And as I walked across, he gave me a big smile, and I smiled back, and I went like this. And I said, it's got a bounce. It bounces the same as the other side. And it was fantastic. We both laughed in the car, and it was just great. I would say my outlook on life, because of this diagnosis, It hasn't changed an enormous amount, but I must say that I see things a little differently now. I can go for a walk and the colours are brighter and the sky's bluer and everything looks fantastic. You tend to become a little complacent when you have your health and everything's going well for you, and then you get a diagnosis of breast cancer or any cancer, I would imagine, and you start to see things a little differently. I have to say that I don't actually think about having one breast until I see myself in the mirror, and I will actually walk past the mirror and give myself a wink and go, "You're not bad for an old girl." I think the advice I would give to other women is it is a roller coaster ride, and that's exactly how it's going to feel. It's going to be ups and downs. If you have the opportunity to go to a support group, I would suggest give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? You may not go back, but you might actually find a group of women who you never would have crossed paths with before, that you'll really enjoy their company and they'll be a great help to you.